It's time to get all set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics with your hosts, Scott Williams and Jeff Traylor.
When I hear the coffee brewing, I think, what the heck we doing? Because I got barely any sleep last night. As the diaper bag I pack with Hot Wheels dollies and some snacks, I say a prayer there'll be a seat in the crime room this time. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.
Welcome to All Set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics to be a little more prepared for Sunday Mass. My name is Scott Williams. My co-host is Jeff Traylor. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Scott.
How you doing?
I'm great, man.
Father Andy Syberg, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
You?
What's been the best part of your day so far?
Best part of my day so far is happening right now. This is the moment
Praise
that
God.
the Lord wants me to have right now.
We're all
Mass
giving
this
burdens.
morning was pretty awesome. The seminaries went so crazy with the incense that there was smoke in that room next to my office, which is like 200 feet away, on another floor. Very seminarian. So it was kind of awesome.
I imagine, you see like when there's like flooding in a city, they'll like paint high water marks, right, for historical purposes. I feel like the seminarians like tape off incense marks, like
we got it this far.
on this date.
We got it this far down the hallway.
On this date in 2026, we reached this point with incense from the chapel.
Is that just every daily Mass at the seminary, or is it because today's the feast day?
It was special today, so
Good. All right.
we just want to assume that people like this happened like 10 minutes before they went to Sunday Mass.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
Right.
no, it's fine.
Jeff, you ready for the 2-minute drill?
I am, because it's Palm Sunday.
Yeah, it is.
You know what?
Well, that happened fast.
Yeah, it did. It came up.
Lent
on us,
always
like-
happens as you're like, I thought we just
Yeah.
started this thing.
Yeah, I think it's because we think of Advent and Lent the exact same, and then like Lent just burns through there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Palm Sunday is incredibly important. Do you know what I would argue is the second most important thing happening on Palm Sunday this year?
What do I think is the most important thing happening?
No,
on
Palm Sunday is the most important thing.
The second most important thing happening? It's my birthday.
Father Dufresne on a donkey.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Palm Sunday's my birthday.
Also
Nice.
my birthday.
Whoa,
That's why I was bringing this up. Yeah.
Look at that!
Yeah, man. March 29th?
And by the way, I know I shouldn't know these things because I shouldn't care, but next year our birthday is on the Monday of the octave.
Ooh.
And for those of you out there who don't know, like, Paschal calendar stuff, our birthdays are always during the season of... I turned 30
Yes.
on Good
Oh,
Friday.
Same. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it was just like...
Not there. I don't know if it was 30, but yeah, a Good Friday birthday.
So,
I had a Good Friday birthday last year.
yeah, I mean, it's, you know...
And I also share a birthday with one of the guests on our show.
Father Peter Marshall?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Look at that.
there You...
How
I
crazy
am-
is that?
It's not that crazy.
It's
This is a big argument I have with people.
It's pretty crazy that both of us have shared birthdays with one of the guests on our show.
Okay, that is more of a statistical anomaly. Yes.
My cousin and his brother's wife are also on March 29th, and my cousin and his brother's wife were born in the same hospital on the same day. That's crazy.
Yes, crazy. I always just my wife gets so mad at me about this because, like, statistically, sharing a birthday, not that big, not that crazy.
365 days, 8 billion people. You're probably going to share a day.
Yeah, you're gonna share a birthday with some people, and I know I remember working in the high school. There was a math teacher who used to do a thing that was like, there's a 38% chance that somebody in this classroom of 30 people you have a shared birthday with.
Now there are 7.
They would go through the statistics of it.
There are 7 Syberg siblings, and each of us were born on a different day of the week. Now that's probably a bit of a
Different
long
day of the week?
rod. Yes.
I saw the reverse the other day. I know a wonderful Catholic family, Irish family. They have 5 children. Their oldest and youngest are boys, both born on St. Patrick's Day.
Really?
And now that I was like, all right, well, in the same family.
Sometimes there are
I can be slightly
birthdays that
impressed
are
with
just kind of, wow, I can't believe that happened. Like the
But
birth of Jesus.
I was bringing this up to brag
wow,
about it being my
that
birthday. I did not know it was your birthday, so that is fun. That you
Yes.
happen to be our guest this week, and we're talking about Palm Sunday, and it's our birthdays, and
How about
but
that,
also
guys?
the Lord's Passion. So
There we go.
But next week,
all good.
Monday of the
things
octave.
are happening.
Let's
Lots
go.
of good things are happening.
Yep. All right.
Hard
okay.
things, but good things.
We have the gospel at the procession. I did do a breakdown of that. Do you think we should talk? I should do that, or
I think we should.
Awesome. All right, so the gospel.
If we're not reading the other gospel,
well, we got to warm our voices up. Yeah, lock in for your hour-and-a-half podcast, everyone. No, the gospel of the procession is from Matthew chapter 21. So Jesus comes into Jerusalem, both a humble and unmistakably royal way. Right? He comes rolling in, riding in on a donkey, fulfilling what had been spoken by the prophets.
Meek and riding on an ass is what it says.
Whoa, watch your tone, sir.
That's what it says.
This is a family podcast.
Yes. Sorry, yeah, everyone. Earmuffs.
Right there.
He's fulfilling what had been spoken by the prophets, and while the crowds spread, they lay out cloaks, they lay out palm branches, they cry out, Hosanna to the Son of David. This is always like my favorite thing at Mass, man, like you're coming in and the choirs are singing and we're yelling this out. It's great. So the city's all fired up. People are starting to ask who he is. It's joyful, it's triumphant. Little tension underneath because like the king has arrived, but it's not necessarily the way people thought this king would arrive, and so there's a little bit of like, what's going on? But obviously a lot of joy, a lot of excitement. Our first reading then comes from Isaiah chapter 50. So Isaiah is describing to us the faithful servant who listens closely to God and speaks the word that strengthens the weary. And even though he is facing suffering, mockery, and violence, he doesn't turn away. He sets his face like flint, which I think is great, because he trusts that God is with him. It's a great picture of quiet strength, right? That you set forth, set your face like flint, be ready to go, and hold steady, not interested in quitting just because things got hard, but focused on the task at hand. Our responsorial psalm, my God, why have you abandoned me? Top tier banger.
Yep.
Top tier banger right there.
Absolutely.
That's going to be...
No? You don't think so?
No, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why'd you look at me like that?
Yeah. What a move that would have been.
The top tier banger. That's just such a... You guys are so silly.
We are silly
You're
gooses.
such rascals.
Our second reading then comes from Philippians chapter 2. So St. Paul gives a very clear summary of who Christ is, how he saves. Keeps it nice, simple, easy. Though he was in the form of God, Jesus emptied himself. He took the form of a slave. He humbled himself even to death on the cross. And because of that, God highly exalts him, gives him the name above every name. It's the great Christian paradox, right? That the way up is down, and that a king wins by humility, not by throwing his weight around and bullying everybody. And then our gospel is Matthew chapter 26. Is there actually a short form here?
No.
It says it's within the brackets. I don't know what it is, though.
It's beefy, regardless of...
It is beefy. It's a 4.5 page gospel reading. We're probably not going to do it.
We've all heard the story.
Yeah, Barabbas, crucify him. Punch Pilate. There we go.
Though reading the Passion before, at some point of the week, that's not a bad idea, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's other podcasts that probably do that for you. You guys should go to those ones. But we'll talk about it. I did find the short form if we want me to read the short form. I didn't even know there was one.
How short is it?
I will not be taking the short form.
It is pretty short. It starts on 119 in the second column and then goes through, it's like a page.
All right, go for it.
All right. Short form, everybody. Jesus stood before the governor who questioned him. Are you the king of the Jews? Jesus said, you say no. And when he was accused by the chief priests and elders, he made no answer. Then Pilate said to him, do you hear how many things they are testifying against you? But he did not answer him one word, so that the governor was greatly amazed. Now on the occasion of the feast, the governor was accustomed to release to the crowd one prisoner whom they had wished. And at that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. So when they had assembled, Pilate said to them, which of you want me to release you, Barabbas or Jesus Christ? For he knew it was out of envy that when they handed him over. While he was still seated on the bench, his wife sent him a message. Have nothing to do with that righteous man. I suffered much in a dream today because of him. The chief priests and elders persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas, but to destroy Jesus. The governor said to them in reply, which do you want me to release to you? They answered, Barabbas. Pilate said to them, what shall I do with Jesus called the Christ? They all said, let him be crucified. But he said, "Why? What evil has he done?" They only shouted louder, "Let him be crucified." When Pilate saw that this was not succeeding at all, but that a riot was breaking outside, he took water, washed his hands, and incited the crowd, saying, "I am innocent of this man's blood. Look to it yourselves." And the whole people said in reply, "His blood should be upon us and upon our children." Then he released Barabbas to them. But after he had Jesus scourged, he handed him over to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped off his clothes and threw a scarlet military cloak on him. Weaving a crown of thorns, they placed it on his head and a reed in his right hand, and kneeling before him they mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." They spat upon him and took the reed and kept striking him on the head. Then when they had mocked him, they stripped off the cloak, dressed him in his own clothes, and let him off and crucify him. As they were going out, they met a Cyrenian named Simon, the man they pressed to service to carry his cross. When they came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull, they gave Jesus wine to drink mixed with gall. But when he had tasted it, he refused to drink. After they had crucified him, they divided his garments by casting lots. Then they sat down and kept watch over him there. They placed over his head the written charge against him: "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." 2 revolutionaries were crucified with him, one on his right and one on the left. Those passing by reviled him, shaking their heads and saying, "You would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. Save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." Likewise, the chief priests and the scribes and elders mocked him and said, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. So he is the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusted in God. Let him deliver him now if he wants him. For he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" The revolutionaries who were crucified with him also kept abusing him the same way. From noon onward, darkness came over the whole land until 3 o'clock that afternoon. About 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Some of the bystanders who heard it said, This one is calling for Elijah." Immediately, one of them ran in to get a sponge. He soaked it in wine and put it on a reed, gave it to him to drink. But the rest said, "Wait, let us see if Elijah comes to save him." But Jesus cried out again in a loud voice and gave up his spirit. We're all supposed to kneel for a short time here. And behold, the veil of the sanctuary was torn from top to bottom. And the earth quaked, rocks were split, tombs were opened, and the bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming forth from their tombs after his resurrection, they entered the holy city and appeared to many. The centurion and the men with him who were keeping watch over Jesus feared greatly when they saw the earthquake and saw what was happening. And they said, "Truly this was the Son of God."
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Good
You're
job.
welcome. Thanks.
Did Jeff get anything wrong, fella?
Yes.
Ooh.
Which part?
You say no, but you said so. You just said no instead of so.
Just one word.
Just one word.
Sorry, I got that letter wrong. My apologies, crowd.
All right. Well, what do you preach on this weekend, Father?
So you don't have to preach. Podcast over. We'll see you next time, everybody.
That's true.
That's the joke. That was the joke.
That was a good one.
That was
See,
the
that-
joke.
that was good. Well done.
No, so a brief homily may
over.
be,
See?
a
All right,
brief
time for
homily
dumb questions.
may be given after the gospel in
But
the
maybe
beginning
not.
outside the church, but you don't have to, and you don't have to preach after the passion. And I know priests who won't preach, and the passion kind of speaks for itself.
Oh, you could preach twice?
And you can preach none or twice.
Oh, Father
Ooh.
Myers definitely going to do twice.
Twice.
But
Plus the other ones.
you look at
Plus
the
first
gospel,
reading.
just like the short form that you just did. I mean, like where do you even crawl in? So like
Yeah.
homiletically, I don't necessarily zero in on anything specifically, more of just kind of the overarching kind of insanity of the passion and just like how improbable like the next thing was. It was just in the scriptures, Jesus is treated like a king like 2 or 3 times. This is one of them. This is actually like a really good day for humanity, and then within 5 days, we're like a bloodthirsty mob, and we all cry out in unison, "God is guilty."
What do you
Not
think?
me. It's not my fault. This isn't my problem, God. It's your fault. You're guilty. And then they lead him off and they crucify him between 2 criminals, not candles. Like when you think about like adoration, like the monstrance and the candles, and like this beautiful thing. Like the cross is the first monstrance. This is the first, like the Lord has put on display. But I mean, I've been thinking about that for years and years and years. But I mean, like, there's Judas.
That's
like,
what you should preach.
But it's like, Judas, look to it yourself.
You should do that.
Like, that is the worst possible counsel you can give to someone who's, like, really, like, wrecked. Look to it yourself. So, I mean, again, it's one of those things that's just like, I don't even know where you go. Which is why I would counsel people, if you can find time leading up to Palm Sunday, read this thing.
Yeah,
because, like...
Read the Passion.
We've been doing this for years. We've never actually read that. I was just reading it, and I thought, and the whole time I'm reading and thinking, like, man, I've gone to, I'm about to be 43. I've gone to 43 Palm Sunday masses. I don't think I've ever really like processed these words in the same way that I was just now reading it. Like, it kind of hit me, and as I was reading there. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
just
we were
the way,
talking
like
about
the phrasing. That's, I think it's so long, and there's so much going on, and you're in mass, and the narrator, and like we talk about, you have kids and things like that. This is a great emphasis of like why we do this, but I was kind of rocked there as I was reading some of that, thinking like, man, I don't remember hearing these words before, and like this, and like some, like I know that I know what's happening, but the way it talked about,
we were
like,
talking about at the beginning, like we know the story, and it's just like
it's easy to gloss over.
We never we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, like the depth of mercy and charity and justice, and you're just like, so like you could focus in on one sentence. So like, yeah, like listeners, like read it, kind of free of distraction. And if something like hits you, just stop and sit with it, because the Holy Spirit might be like, no, like this, I'm putting this on your heart for this Holy Week, and just run with that, because it is long. Like that's just. And we're standing, and like you said, there's kids, and okay, like when's my next part, and all that stuff. And
those
then
kids have things they got in the narthex.
So,
and they're all whipping the back of my head with palms over and over and over again.
What would you say to somebody that, like, let's say, okay, I'm interested in church, haven't been before, Easter's coming up, want to go check out this church before Easter. What would you say to somebody that, like, Palm Sunday was the first mass they came to? Could you imagine?
It would be awesome. They would be like, that's pretty long. Is it like this every time? The homily's short. I like that. Because it says if you give a homily, it is to be brief. So my homily's usually, 4 minutes or so. If someone was like, I'm coming this Palm Sunday, I think you would have to tell them this is going to look different. This whole week of liturgies just looks different, but Palm Sunday is, between Palm Sunday, Holy Thursday, Friday, the Vigil, Easter Sunday is the most like it. Thursday's closer, but then you have like the feet washing. So that's different. Palm Sunday, you have this double gospel reading. So like, I would quote unquote, warn them, like this does look different, but this week is different.
That's a good point.
You're crawling into something that just in the history of humanity, like nothing's even come close. Like the entire Old Testament is like building to this moment. The Old Testament, how much of it is about Jesus? 100%. Like the prophets, my God, why have you abandoned me? Wait for a lot. It's all just like comes crashing in, and the pride of Adam, like the wrath of Cain. The envy of Cain, like it all just comes like exploding out of us in this moment. Because in one of I think it's in Mark, where it's like Pilate knew it was out of envy that they brought Jesus to him. So it's just like all of these things are present, that started to take root from the beginning. So like if you're coming, like tuck in, because you're getting...
Keep coming back.
And then keep coming back. I mean, this is the story of, salvation.
I was really like... that last paragraph that I read, I don't know how I've like missed this, and all this again, probably because I'm just not paying attention like I should be. But when it talks about the earth quaked, rocks were split, and tombs were opened, and the bodies of many saints who had fallen asleep were raised, and coming forth from their tombs after his resurrection, they entered the holy city and appeared to many. I think I missed that, like, saints were rising from the dead and appearing to people in the city. I think I missed that part over the years, but that's pretty, like, like we know of all these like things, but like,
that's good.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten lost in like the shroud was like, okay, great, That's a big one. I feel like it gets
kind of
glossed
after
over a
we
little
stand
bit.
up after Jesus dies. It's just the culmination of the action, right? And then it's just like, actually, this is like just the beginning, and like this is like the first fruits of Christ's sacrifices. So one of the soldiers is just like, this was the Son of God. And Fulton Sheen talks about like the earth shakes as if it was trembling in fear at what had been done to God. Ooh. And the darkness came because the sun was hiding its face in shame.
I think we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, guys.
Well, it does.
This
Like
was
the
Son of
people,
God.
like they go home and like beating their breasts, and it's just like whatever like bloodlust we had, like whatever we thought was going to happen, this was not what we wanted. Same thing with Judas. Like it's like whatever he thought was going to happen, this was not. I think he tries to give the money back as if he can buy his way back into Jesus' good graces, and all Jesus was like, all you had to do is just come to me. Like that was it. Like,
come on, man.
the Lord, he's so good. He's so just go to him. Like,
But short homily.
yeah, I mean, like all the things that we have talked about could be a 45-minute talk.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Each of them.
Each of them.
How do you narrow that down?
I gave a parish mission and spent the entire talk talking about Peter and Judas the whole time. So, because Peter's denials are in there, so.
All right.
So the idea is not necessarily like homiletically drilling down on one thing, but just to kind of help people get a sense of like what just happened here. The improbable thing happened. Jesus died for the forgiveness of sins.
As you were talking about like the Old Testament and all of these things, I was like, man, you're like in the midst of writing like We Didn't Start the Fire, but Palm Sunday version. Let's just roll through just like 4 minutes of just listing everything that's happened in history that has led up to this moment. You don't even explain it. Just like hit just all those things, just and then this, and just sit down.
Yeah, it never stops. You just go from the Last Supper, which is obviously another big thing. They go to Gethsemane, which is a Hebrew word for oil press, which is where the agony happens. Like, you can't. Part of our growing in holiness is we are pressed. You can't get oil until the olive is crushed, and so that's like part of it. You can't get bread until the wheat is crushed. You can't get wine until the grain is crushed. So even like in Gethsemane, like we're going to this oil press. Like that's where it starts.
You ready to press him with some dumb questions?
That was nice. That was smooth.
He's so good at those transitions.
That was a goated transition, as the kids would say.
Goated. I thought you said goated earlier when you said go to him. I was like, goated him.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, somewhat related dumb question. All right, we got all these different roles that have to be read here, right?
Yeah.
Do you like hold tryouts? Like, is this like auditions? And are you going to be at the seminary? Because I would really want to know if that happens there.
I'm at the seminary. Last year, we chanted it.
Yeah. We talked about.
I practiced.
We talked about this. We talked about this last year with, I think we had Father McCarthy on for this episode, and at Holy Rosary, they were chanting it. He came in that day like hoarse, or like a little like hoarse in his voice, drinking tea. Sean Gallagher's here. He's over there waving in the corner that he's part of the chanting of the of it.
It was lovely, but we do not personally possess. We do not have the skill currently in the building. Like I was definitely the worst of the three, but the hardest part was given to like one of our guys who graduated last year, he's like a trained singer.
Oh,
like if you don't have that, like speak it, because then if it's bad, then that's all people are going to remember is that train wreck of a chant job you just did.
I would love to watch Father Peter chant this. That would be fun. Anyway, sorry. No comment. He sits out. Anyway, I am wondering, like, how do you like at a parish? You've been in parish ministry before. How do you choose? Like, does the liturgy committee just figure this out, or like, how do you choose?
Signs up that week?
I think they just have the lector. Yeah, whoever's like the lector signed up for that week, and then obviously like the crowd. That's your congregation, but.
Mm-hmm.
I also would have no problem if they're just like, Father, just read the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really make No, never mind to me. I might do it this for Palm Sunday.
All right, next dumb question. This is for both of you. Okay. Palm Sunday, we get palms, right? Then you got palms.
Why aren't we putting cloaks down?
We should think about that. Just laying jackets and stuff down. So we get palms, and you have palms.
Yep.
And then what percentage
I've got years
of
palms.
people do you think remember to bring their palms back the next year?
This is my biggest beef.
Oh, yeah? Ooh.
Yeah.
It's big beef.
You could do something about it.
It's a big beef town.
Nobody says bring them back.
It's in the bulletin.
Never.
Been there for weeks.
Never.
It's in the bulletin. This is the
never in the
21st
bulletin.
century.
It's been in the bulletin. It was in the bulletin this year at St. Mark.
I've never been a part of a parish where it was advertised. I don't think.
Bring out your palms.
I read the bulletin.
Bring your palms back, because they are blessed. You don't want to just chuck them. You know.
Burn them or bury them, right?
They are blessed. Burn them or bury them. You can bury the ashes too.
Yeah.
Or just bring them back to your church.
Or
because those are the ashes.
Keep 10 years worth of them.
Those are the ashes for the next year.
We've
for
got
Ash Wednesday.
I mean, but how many parishes? Okay, you're right. But how many parishes are actually burning those palms and saving those to use?
I also
as
know
the
that you can
ashes
just
out?
buy ashes.
Yeah, you can buy ashes.
Well, I don't know. I'm at the.
Do you guys burn your own?
Yeah.
At parishes?
But the palms never leave the building. At the seminary.
And one year, one guy, he like wove this palm thing. It was a work of art.
Was it Kai?
I mean, it was awesome. It was Kai.
I know, because he's.
It was awesome,
He's
man.
our
And
the deacon now, but he was the seminarian at St. Mark. So every year he would come back on for Palm Sunday, and yeah, it is.
It was
monstrous.
a legit piece of art.
Yeah, it's like
If
half
it's
the
nice
size of a
out,
person.
We go out in front of the seminary and we process, and people are driving by on Cold Spring Road, and I have this red cope.
Do you have a donkey?
No.
Come on.
St. Philip Neri, Father's going to ride a donkey. Palm Sunday.
I don't care.
You're jealous. Come on.
Why would I want to ride a donkey?
Because, come on, what a flex.
Is it?
Like, our procession is so accurate.
No, it is neat.
Cloaks
but
and donkeys.
don't those animals have a hard time walking up and down stairs? That would be.
I don't think you have to ride it in.
That would be trouble at the seminary.
You got to navigate those hallways. I always get lost around there and just circling in the donkey.
I wonder how much it costs to rent a donkey for the day.
Ooh.
I mean, there's supply demand. I'm sure
Donkey
that it's
rental?
more expensive on that.
It probably
Palm Sunday.
is.
Surge rates.
Yeah.
Surge rates for donkey rentals on Palm
You Uber
Sunday.
a donkey?
No, I think of Philip Neri. I think they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would fall off the thing. I also know that people are like laying down these cloaks, and it's just like Jesus isn't even walking. It's for the donkey's feet.
It's impressive.
Boy, we had ourselves a good moment there.
Yeah.
We were so good, and then we were just like, nah, string them up. What? What happened?
Since the apple core hit the bushes, right?
And that's been,
Yeah.
third chapter of the Bible. Yeah, it was just another
That's where it went off the rails.
Human beings introduced a
Good
sour note into the melody of creation, and instead of abandoning it, this became the first note in a new composition that crescendoed in the cross, and it's even more beautiful than the first melody of creation. Man, the Lord, what do the kids? Let him cook. Let him cook. Don't look to it yourself. Let the man cook. Let the Lord cook. I'm excited. It's Holy Week. I mean, come on.
What's your
I know.
favorite day of Holy Week?
I mean, obviously, Holy Thursday and the establishment of the Eucharist and the priesthood.
Yeah.
That's going to have pretty
Not a big
significant. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
But it's Good Friday. Everything has their thing, right?
Yeah, but
You can really point to anything in there, and at the seminary.
But one day out of the year, 365 days.
Well, it would be Easter.
That's your favorite day?
Well, yeah, we
That's
know
the best-
Father. We
that's
know
the best day of the
how
year.
Father feels about the tomb being empty.
Oh, it's the
True.
best. No, but Good Friday.
Is the tomb
I feel-
empty or isn't it?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
one
Good
of my
Friday
favorite
is just
phrases.
it's the victories won.
I love Easter too, but I could imagine if I was a parish priest after a Saturday Easter vigil masses on. I feel like you're a little tired, right?
I'm not at a parish.
It's true. Okay.
I'm at the seminary, and actually, since the Propadutics now stay,
Dudes.
we go off grid during Holy Week. They stay at the seminary. They don't serve masses. They don't, we crawl into the Triduum and have basically silent 4 or 5 days with the Triduum. It's awesome.
Nice.
And it's
because all the other guys are gone.
And it's very that's a rare thing as a priest, and certainly even just as a server. The fact that you just get to disappear during the Triduum is so rare. So it's guys, take advantage of it. And even for people preparing for Holy Week and all of that stuff, it's busy, but try to find some silence during Holy Week. Read through some of the scriptures. Now we will go to St. Jude, me and the Propadutics, because Father Peter Marshall is the director of the Propadutic stage. So we'll go there for Holy Thursday and Good Friday. I'm preaching Good Friday.
He's the dude.
The dude. The chief dude.
We'll do the vigil with the bishop. So.
Oh, you will? Nice. We did the vigil last year at the cathedral. It was really beautiful. We just decided to. It was fun.
Yeah, no, we'll be there on Good Friday, and I'll preach there. Be something probably similar to Palm Sunday homily.
We have a tradition after the. Well, it's not Easter Sunday yet. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that.
Nope. Let's not put the. Yeah. That's another thing that I try to remind people during Holy Week.
Am I right?
Is nice.
Thank you.
Don't rush to the empty tomb.
Yeah.
You have to sit with kind of the horrors of Friday, and to remember there's a lot of hope in that, because right there in the middle of that horror show is Jesus Christ himself.
All right. You got anything else?
No. Enjoy your birthday.
Thank you. You too.
As you head into Holy Week, you got to kind of reset. But yeah.
Almost 40.
Enjoy the joy of your birthday as you head into the horrors.
You too. 1983.
Yeah. So, 82 for me.
82?
Yeah.
What about you? What year were you born?
87.
87? He's a pup. Where were you born?
You guys are old.
St. Vincent's Hospital.
I was born in Huron, South Dakota.
I was not in the same hospital as you.
You were not.
What are the odds?
Yeah, and another priest of the Archdiocese of Indianapolis, Monsignor Tony Bowles, born in Huron, South Dakota.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Maybe someday you can be as wonderful as Monsignor Tony.
I doubt that. That guy.
He's pretty great.
He's pretty clutch.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Thank you. Have a great Holy Week, everybody.
Bye.
It's nonstop where you can take it. So and
that is, yeah.
It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.